So today we are talking about how to mount two-dimensional pieces of art. So because my artwork is flat, I'm going to be mounting it on something that is flat as well. Once you guys have picked out your image that you are going to mount, you want to make sure before you do anything or put it onto a piece of paper that you check your artwork to make sure that it is clean and that it is complete. We should not be mounting anything that still needs work done. As you can see, I have my name written on the side over here. If that's the case for you guys, you could simply erase it. If it's something that cannot be erased, maybe you put your name on there with marker, permanent marker, something like that, you can always trim your paper. I have a paper cutter at the teacher station, and you can come see me there so that I can trim the edge off where the mess is on your artwork. After the artwork is clean and trimmed, you should go pick out a colored paper that is larger than the actual artwork. So for this piece of artwork, it's pretty small, so I'm going to go to the collage station and get one of the base papers from the collage station. When I set it on top of my artwork, when I set my artwork on top of it, I can see that the border is bigger than the actual image. That's what you want. If you have a larger image, such as this one here, that border would not work. So you would have to go over behind the teacher station. There is a very large shelf with large pieces of construction paper. And what you would do is take your artwork and put it on top of the largest sheet over from that shelf. For this example, I'm going to be mounting the smaller piece of artwork. When you guys are picking out a color, you want to make sure you find something that complements your artwork. In other words, you don't want it to blend in. If I chose a white border for this artwork, it might blend right into the artwork. You want something that makes it pop out or stand out. Once you guys have your piece of artwork and it's on here, you need to get a name tag. Name tag can be found over at the drawing station. They're just a little white strip of paper, and you want to make sure to write your first and last name, or at least your last initial, very neatly on the paper. If you want to start with a pencil first, you may do that. I'm simply going to write my first and my last name very neatly. Notice I'm taking my time writing it. That is the only information that you should have on your name tag. Once you have that, you want to place your name tag in the lower right-hand corner of your artwork. You don't want to take it all the way to the edge. You want it to line up with the edge of your artwork. Once you have everything where you want it, you need to mark the corners. And I want you guys to notice now that I have more space on the bottom of my artwork than I do on the top, and that's so I have room for my name tag. So you should always have a little extra space. If I wanted to put this vertically, maybe I wanted this to be the top of my artwork, I would move my artwork up towards the top of the paper here and place my name tag down at the bottom here. Notice that there's space in between my name tag and the artwork. You never want it touching your artwork. Now that I have this where I want it, I'm going to lightly mark all the corners with a pencil. The reason that I'm marking my corners with a pencil is because I'm going to have to move this paper in order to glue it down. And once I come back to my mat, I want to be able to know exactly where the paper goes because it's already going to be sticky. Now when you're choosing glue to glue down your artwork to your mat, you want to make sure you have the right kind. You want to use the Elmer's sticky glue if you have heavy paper. So that's the paper that you would have used for a collage or a painting. That needs the strong glue to hold. Because I have a drawing paper, which is very thin, I'm going to be using a glue stick because this heavier glue will make it ripple. So I'm going to take this off, get close to the edge, but not go all the way to the edge because I do not want to make a mess or have the glue ooze out the edges. I'm going to flip it back over and I'm going to find my dots. And once I have it aligned with my dots, I'm going to press it down. You really want to make sure that you rub and press on this paper. If you have something that spreads like chalk or oil pastel and it would get your hands messy or smudge your artwork, you want to flip your paper over and smooth it out this way on the back. That way your hands stay clean and your artwork does not get ruined. I'm going to flip this back over and I need to finish by putting my name tag on. Again, you don't want it to go to the edge, you want it to move over here. Put a little line of glue on the back. You don't need much glue for a name tag. Okay, leaving space in between, and I'm going to press this down. If you have any leftover marks from your pencil, just get rid of those carefully with an eraser. Okay, you want this to look as clean as possible. Once you have this all completed, if there is extra paper at the bottom or you think the border looks too big, you can always bring it over to the teacher station to get a nice even cut with the paper cutter. Once your border is trimmed and even and everything looks good on the front, you want to make sure that you put your proper labels on the back of the artwork. We always need to have our classroom number, and you also need to have the letter that represents your table color. So if I sat at the red table, I would put an R. If I sat at the yellow table, it would be a Y. Make sure you put your number and your letter on the back of your artwork before you place it on the drying rack or put it away in your portfolios.